Alright, morning day vlog, daily vlog, day 6. I'm in Reno, Nevada. Yesterday I went from Oregon to California to Nevada. I rode in all 3 states. Oregon, I turned on my helmet and I turned it off apparently right away. I must not have thought it was on. It's really hard to tell. That's the only part of that helmet I don't like is the sounds it makes, and it's not very freaking loud. But anyway, I captured about 3.2 seconds of Oregon, so you don't get to see the trail there. Then I rode in Redding, California, beautiful. I captured all that. I got all that on video, and then I went to Nevada, and apparently I turned it off. I don't know, but whatever the case may be, I am going to re-ride in Nevada just so that I have some content for Nevada, and then and then I'm off to Hoover Dam. I was originally going to go to the what's it called, Basin Flats or something like that, and Brody Ghost Town. I was going to see those two. I don't think I'm going to do either one of them. They jump back into California a little ways in, and I'm going to go straight to Hoover Dam. Get to Hoover Dam. I'm going to take some pictures, and then I'm going to head to the hotel, which I'm staying in Williams, Arizona. And then once I hit that hotel, then I think I'll drop most everything off. I'll ride the bike in Arizona. The following day, which would be day 7, I was supposed to ride. Wait, how can that be? Anyway, I was supposed to ride on the Grand Canyon, which I think would be awesome. But everybody seems a little concerned about me riding the Grand Canyon, which I don't blame them. I've seen me fall 3 times now. So I think I'm going to walk the Grand Canyon, take some good photos, and really enjoy the scenery. I'm not going to wear the helmet cam, but I'll take this and I'll videotape it. And then I plan on going to Mexican Hat, Utah, and I'll ride there. It's called the Road of Gods, I think, or something like that. And then I'm going to go to a place where you can stand on the 4 corners of each state, being Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. And there's a plaque there, so I'll take pictures there. And about 0.02 miles from there is another monument that I'm going to go check out as well, take pictures there as well. And then I'm going to go to Durango for my last ride for the day. So that'll take care of day 7. See, day 7 makes it sound like it's a Monday, but it's really Sunday. So I guess really today's day 5. I got my days all mixed up, but oh well, we'll stay on that. It'll be 11 days total, and I'm on day 6 in my mind. So there you go. That's going to end that. Thanks for listening. Alright, it's been about 3.5 hours since I left Reno. I did do a bike ride in between, but I have 4 hours and 48 minutes left till I hit the Hoover Dam, about 330 miles. And I filled up like about 365 miles to empty and 330 miles to the dam, which is interesting because when I filled up, I purposely looked, I had 80 gallons more, or 80 miles more than what I needed to get to Hoover Dam, and now I'm looking at it, and I only have 34 more miles. So, I don't know. I watched an ad once about the car companies purposely screwing with the brains of the cars so that they burn more gas. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'll tell you what. Can you imagine the backlash to these car companies if people found out that they're actually screwing around with the brains of the cars so that you actually burn more gas and spend more money for a car that's supposedly high proficient? Now, not only is it kind of a double-edged sword here, because not only are you paying for a high proficiency car or vehicle, but you're also paying for the best fuel economy you can get. Now, I don't know how true it is. I would like to think that the corporations aren't that brazen and or foolish, but you know what? All that shit happening with John Deere, happening with whatever it's called, the Farmers Warehouse or whatever it is, them just deciding to do something and making all of their employees do it, plus forcing their customers to do it as well. That's pretty brazen. So I wouldn't put it past the car companies to be that brazen. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. I could see them purposely mucking around with these engines so that they burn more fuel. And I'll be honest, that is the lamest shit I've ever heard. Hopefully it is totally not true. But if it's not, absolute bottom of the hell, worst thing anybody could ever do. Absolute worst. So, there's my thoughts for this ride. Thanks. I'll have more thoughts later, but that's it. Alright, I am heading to Hoover Dam. I know, Kim, we talked about it, and I had thought I was going to go to Cerro Gordo. I've decided against going to Cerro Gordo, or back in California for that matter. I'm going to stay in Nevada side. Kind of do a little bit of travel this way. Got about 6 hours and 46 minutes left. I'll switch over to video or voice. Alright, update. Alright, took a path. I'm telling you, TrailLinks needs to really decide if these trails are saying no motorized vehicles, and does that mean an e-bike? Does it not mean another quick video? Let it show you around a little bit. This is Nevada, going from Reno to where am I going? Hoover Dam. Yeah, I'm currently on US 95 Alt South 2-laner, and as you can see, it's kind of just rolling hills. Yeah, beautiful. An e-bike, what does that mean? I understand a motorcycle, an ATV. I understand a vehicle, any kind of vehicle, with 4 wheels, a car, so on and so forth. But is a motorized vehicle, because technically an e-bike is motorized. It makes no sound. for the most part. I mean, it does have some sound. You can hear it. It kind of goes, but it's not very loud. So are they recommending it not, because of noise around people? Or I don't understand why you would put, just cruising along, checking out all this stuff. And beautiful country for the most part. I'm not too thrilled with the yellows and the kind of, off-colored greens, but I do love the deep greens. Anywho, you can see the mountains off in the distance over there. And over there, looks like it's pouring rain over the mountains. Some mountains over here as well. And of course, there's no cell service, as you can see. It hates when I run out of cell service because it runs through my whole list for my play for Spotify, and it comes to nothing, and then it bails. But anyway, quick glance around, see what's going on. Pavement down and not let an e-bike on the pavement. And somebody needs to explain that to me, because according to what I'm seeing, you should be able to take your e-bikes on these trails. Check out the mountain ranges. Absolutely phenomenal. Some over here too. And this lake down here. Beautiful, beautiful. And all this over here. I don't know how well you can see that. There you go. That's it. But they say no motorized vehicles. It makes me a little nervous when I'm on a trail and it says no motorized vehicles. Video time. Turn that down. So, I passed the, apparently maybe it's US, maybe it's world's largest ammo depot. I didn't know we had such a thing. And now I am cruising down the road. As you can see, mountains all around me. So that's very interesting, very cool. Yeah, just cruising along. Alright, I'm in Tonopah. I couldn't remember why the name struck me as familiar. And one of the YouTubers I used to watch, I don't watch him so much anymore, but I used to watch him. He went to the Clown Motel in Tonopah and did paranormal investigation there. So, it's interesting because, it's an interesting place for sure. Borrow Western store. Bunch of, look at this, pretty cool looking. Nevada State Bank, West Western. Pretty cool. Pretty decent size too. I would have expected to be much smaller, but it actually is pretty decent size. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's that. Over and over, and then says violators will be persecuted. If I don't know, that's one thing, and I don't know because I'm really concerned. Is a motorized vehicle an e-bike? If it is, then I'm not allowed on those trails. Then Trail Link should say no e-bikes on our trails, in which case I will gladly cancel my subscription, because what good are you if I can't ride on your fucking trails? Come on, people, seriously. Maybe you should do a little research before you put this shit out about how great your trails are, but then you don't let motorized vehicles on them. And I know you probably have nothing to do with who's on them and who's not, but maybe you should do a follow-up after you put them up and seeing people put up no motorized vehicles. Are those signs supposed to be there? Are those your signs? Who owns these trails? Anyway, I'm barking because it's pissing me off. Those are the kind of trails I like to ride. Nice, smooth, flat. I know I'm on a mountain bike and people think that I want to go up and down hills and all this other shit. I really don't. I want to get a good workout. get the old, feet moving, and get up to about 10, 12 miles an hour at most. Which, by the way, a 30-year-old kid can do, or I shouldn't say kid, a 30-year-old could do on a regular bike. No motor. They can get up to that speed, if not faster. So, I don't know. I guess I'm just barking to bark, but it irks me that you have these trail links. But so far, I've been on 3 of your trails, and all 3 have been no motorized vehicles. So what the hell's the deal? Either you let motorized or you don't. I don't care. But maybe the website, being that we're paying for it, should tell us if you can put an e-bike on it or not. I'm just saying.